By this time, I've rested my vehicle because I need a new vehicle. And here I am now walking from school, Broken Arrow to Tulsa. And I say, Lord, why am I walking? Lord, you're faithful. Lord, you always give me what I ask for. You've given me what I asked for all the way here. Why am I walking? And a security guard pulled up next to me and said, hey, get in. I got in. He says, have you ever had shepherd's pie? I said, no. He said, I'm going to take you to my house, and my wife is going to show you some of the best shepherd's pie that you've ever eaten. I said, okay. We had good fellowship. He was a great man of God, and I thank God for sending him. You know, any way that God does, it's going to be sweet. Except I didn't see him again. The next night, I'm angry with God again. And I say, Lord, what now? What now? I still got to walk. And I heard a voice. He said, I've already provided for you. So here I am thinking, he said he already provided for me. He already provided for me. I get to the 7-Eleven on the right side of the road and go into the 7-Eleven. And a man walks over to me and he says, you're my assignment. And I said, what do you mean? He said, God sent me from Virginia here to Oklahoma, and you're my assignment. He says, what do you need? Well, I said, for one thing, I need to be able to go to work, be able to go home, be able to go to school. And he says, well, I'll be here. I'll be there to pick you up at your work, to take you home. I'll be there in the morning to take you to school. I'll be there to take you to your job. As often as you need me, I'll be there. And I said, thank you. Do you know he was faithful in taking me to Southwest Lab, the job that I had every day, picking me up and taking me home every day, taking me to school every morning, taking me back home every evening. This man was on time every time, and he was faithful. And when I got my next vehicle, he didn't show up. This man was from God. We have to learn to walk in the Spirit in these last days, because there's some dark days ahead. That's the reason I'm telling my story. Because there is a place in God where we can get where there's no harm. There is a place in God where we can get, where we can ask the Father anything in his name, and that shall he do. That's what Jesus said. I thank God that he provided for me. I thank God that he took me higher in my faith to him. Thanking God. I pulled in front of a place called Fish and Fowl. Notice I have a vehicle now. I realized I don't have any money. But yet I pull in front of this place called Fish and Fowl. I went to the door anyway. I started to turn around, but I said no. I walked on in. The man behind the counter said, hey, come here. You come here. I went over to him. He said, have you tried our soup? And I said, no. He took a bowl and he poured me some soup. And he said, here, try this. He said, have you tried our chicken and fish? And I said, no. He took a plate and he put chicken and fish on the plate. He said, you tried our coleslaw? And I said, no. So he put coleslaw and potato salad on the same plate and handed it to me. And he says, look, try this. It's really good. He said, next time you come in, let me know what you think. The man didn't charge me anything. He filled my plates. On my way out the door, I turned around and he said, God bless you. I went on to the car. And I got to the car. And I remembered a scripture. I once was young and now I'm old. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. Now at this time I have another roommate. And his name is Cliff. Great man of God. Cliff goes to the cupboard. I'm normally the cook. He goes to the cupboard and says, James, all we have is potatoes. And out of my spirit, I spoke. And I said, today we're going to have potatoes and steak. That's steak and potatoes. And the steak is on me. So he went to work. Do you realize when he got home, he had 10 16-ounce steaks in a bag? And I said, where did you get those steaks? And he says, I went to my job at Walmart. And they told me, they said, Cliff, you didn't come to the party. You missed the party. Take these steaks. And Cliff, being modest, said, oh, just give me 2. They said, no, these steaks were saved for you. And they loaded the bag with steaks and made him take them. He brought the steaks home and we fired up the grill. And I said, do you remember this morning? I said, the steak's on me. His mouth fell open. And he said, yes. There's another scripture. It says, as it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, talking to Abraham, before him whom he believed, even God who quickeneth the dead, and call those things that be not as though they were. I thank God that he gave us the power in words. He says life and death is in the power of the tongue. We can speak it into existence. We can speak it into existence.